Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Gulfstream Park here on Sunday. It is the 9th of February 2025. Gonna look at the fourth race from Gulfstream. Before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. Let's look at the fourth race from Gulfstream. It's a very good race here. It's a launch optional claimer purse, $96,000 race for 3-year-olds, which have never won 20,000 once the main claim starter restricted race, which never won two races, an optional claim price 75,000. We have 8 horses going to the turf course. The distance of ground is 1,600 meters or a mile on the Gulfstream Park turf course. Rails around 31 feet. We're going to take the 8 horse Ready for Peace as a top selection. We're going to go 8-6-4-3 in the superfecta. 8-6-4-3 super, top selection 8 horse Ready for Peace. Career Holt by More Than Ready. Nacho Correas trains. Luis Saez gets the mount. The ran the horse most recently on the 5th of October at Keelan, mile 16th on the dirt in the Grade 1 Breeders' Futurity. It wasn't a success. He was very rambunctious before the race. He had a very wide post trot, and he just wasn't comfortable. He finished 10th by 36 lengths. He was wide, and he didn't get into it. He beat one horse home, and that's, saying something. Just not a dirt horse. Back to the green stuff here today, off the bench. I think this horse could really run a good race here today. Nacho Chris, not great, absolutely not great numbers at all off the bench, but I think this horse could change it for him. This horse, coming to the mile trip is really going to be suiting him well. And also the way this race should shoot up for him from a tracking trip should really suit up for him. He ran two back at Kentucky Downs, a mile in the Kentucky Juvenile Mile Stakes, and he finished third by 4 lengths that day. He had a wide trip that day. He was closing up well late in the race. If the race was a little bit longer, he could have made it interesting right at the wire. It was a mile and eighth, but not a bad race in his sophomore effort. First time winners. And then mid August on debut at Colonial, a mile and a main special weight. He won by 2 1/4 lengths. And from a tracking trip, he really took off clear. That was a very strong run. He's definitely, if you go by his turf numbers, he's been improving a lot. He's coming to the 3-year-old campaign here today, training well at Gulfstream on the Tapeta and dirt, getting first time Lasix. I think he can win. We'll use him on the ticket. The 6-horse Attack for Javier Castellano and Mark Cassie can win also. Source is making his turf debut, but he was running up north at Woodbine on the Tapeta. Wasn't running that bad. It was recently against winners in Option 75 at Woodbine, a mile 70 on the 6th of December. He finished third by 1.5 lengths that day, and he didn't have the best beginnings that day, which cost him. He had to gain a little bit of ground late. Not a bad race in defeat, but he still really, did a little bit better, getting out of the gate a little bit better. Should have really suited him well. But on debut, with a wide trip to Woodbine, a mile 16 in the main special weight, he won by a half length. And again, not the best beginnings, was very wide, but he got there in the nick of time. A very good run. He's training well in the Tapeta locally. Coming to turf, Tapeta Farms turf, does suit well. I'm going to use him in the Tropical Pick 3 that begins with this race or any other multi-race, whatever we decide to play. But to recap my selection of the fourth now from Gulfstream here on the Super Bowl Sunday, which I won't be watching, we're going to take the 8 horse. We're Ready for Peace. Give kudos to the 6-horse Attack, 8-6-4-3 super, 8-6 in the multi-race. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5. Good luck, everybody.